Hello everyone, it's Gina from orchidandopal.com. I'm back with the single 2-hole Beads of the Month Club and Hot and Trendy Beads of the Month Club that I received for the month of February 2021. I already shared the double rotating last week, which was seed beads, so if you haven't seen that video, you can check it out. I happen to also love all the fun and unique multi-hole shapes and various types of check glass beads that are all over the place these days. So I have a special interest in these two clubs and like to come back and share them with you to show you what I received before they end up in finished pieces. I'll leave the link to the subscription down below. There's all different subscriptions you can choose from on their site with all different types of beads and also different size clubs from single to double depending on how many beads you want to get and how much you want to spend. I also have a coupon code. It's Opal10, which will save you 10% off the first month of your first club. So take advantage of that if you want to give them a try. I have tons of unboxing videos going back almost 3 years, so that should give you a good idea of the types of things that they send. Every month the theme is different, and if you use the coupon code that I provided, that will let them know that you are one of my viewers, so they would try to get you on the same rotation or the same club schedule if you were to sign up for the same exact ones. It doesn't always work out that way, but they do try, just to let you know. And check out the video I shared last week. If you're interested in seeing their Findings Companion Pack add-on, you can add the Findings Pack onto any existing subscription with no additional shipping cost. If you're not in the US, you can reach out to them through their email and see if it's possible to get a quote for how much it would be to ship to your location. But all that aside, I'm so excited to get into these. I have not checked them out on the back other than a very quick glance at the colors. But I have Red Planet and Paris Pink. Let's just go ahead and open up Red Planet first. These are the 2-hole beads of the month. It could be a whole wide variety of different 2-hole beads. It changes every single month and the theme changes. But what you will get is 8 different containers of high quality check glass beads. On the front, of course, it lets us know everything that we are going to check out. And let's do our flip over. Awesome. Red Planet makes me think of Mars, and that makes me think of the Mars rover that landed yesterday that I happened to catch a glimpse of on the news, which was pretty cool. All right, so we have some various tones of red and even some silver accents in there, it looks like. I'm going to take these out and we will take a closer look at everything one at a time. The first item on our list is a container that contains opaque coral red New Picasso Amos Parpuca beads. We can tell what's what by the label, that little code AMS. Those are the Amos Parpucas, those little teardrop shapes. And here's a glance at them closer up in my hand. What a lovely combination of that deep brick red with the silvery wash over the top. Very cool combination, something that's right up my alley. Next, we have the opaque coral red New Picasso Pyros Parpuca beads. Those are coordinating with the Amos that we just took a look at. You can see it's the same type of color combination with that deep shade of red and that silvery Picasso finish. And you can see these 2-hole beads are kind of like a little sliver, a rectangle with 2 holes running through the face of the bead, and then at the very top, they have a little pointed roof-like shape. Very interesting, and we get a lot of these Parpuca beads in the Beads of the Month Club for the 2-hole beads, but of course you don't have to use these together with that line. You can use these however you want. And also worth mentioning that with your subscriptions, you also get a link every month for 3 new patterns you can download. And often they include these very different multi-hole shape beads. If you don't have a clue as to what to do with them and you're trying to learn, that's a great way to build up a collection of patterns. Next up, we have some Crystal Labrador Wide Duo beads. How fun. That's a really interesting combination. Not only is it that bright aluminum silver, but it's also the crystal clear, which I really like that combination. The crystal clear sometimes can get washed out, and when it's just a clear multi-hole bead, sometimes it doesn't stand out the way I like it to. But with these, we get kind of a backlit silvery combination, which I really like. So here's a few of these beads in my hand. You can see one side has the silver and the other side has the clear, but that silver shows up. And you have the 2 holes that run through the bead there, parallel from one corner to another. I have these in a tutorial called the Deco bracelet. You can use these with Vexolos. They go really well together with that shape, and sometimes we see those pop up in our Beads of the Month Club. And then next we have some chalk lava red chevron beads. Lovely color. Goes very well with those first 2 in particular with that Picasso finish. These are in a little bit brighter color and a brushed metallic sort of a finish. They look kind of satiny in that chevron shape. And here's that little handful. You can see the 2 holes that are on either side of that chevron. Color is really saturated and the finish is looking like it's in really good shape. We also have the chalk lava red honeycomb beads, and that is this container right here with these 6-sided little honeycombs, 2 holes that run parallel through that shape. And here's a closer look. You can see the holes right there. They are just a little bit flat. And sometimes you can use these in place of a Checkmates tile bead, even though those are square if you're not using them in a design where that square shape really matters. They're similar in terms of their size and then have the flat edges on either side, even though they come to a point on either end. Next we have the Crystal Labrador Paisley duos. Very cool. So we also got these in a different shape, this same bright silver on one side and crystal clear on the other. This is such a fun shape. It's got the more pointed end on one side, more fuller and rounded on the other. Definitely looks like a paisley shape. One hole goes through the wider end and one hole goes through the more narrow end. Our next selection is the Crystal Red Luster Nibbit beads. Those are stunning. You can see that luster finish for sure, even without taking them out of the container. And there is a look at them. They actually look like a rosy pink color with a kind of golden luster, just lightly coating the top of that translucent glass. You can see with this shape the hole that runs through the more narrow end, then a hole through the wider end there. And a look at the side view. I have quite a few tutorials that use these as well. And I just think that is a stunning combination of color and finish. And then our 8th container, the Crystal Red Luster Super Duos. We have a larger container of 12.5 grams of these, and you can see they are in that same kind of color and coating as the Nibbit beads, called red, but they really do look like a rosy pink, especially when the light shines through them. They are so pretty. They used to have a Super Duos only club, but now the Super Duos are combined with the 2-hole beads, so we usually see these every month show up, a selection of Super Duos, which are a wonderful 2-hole bead to work with, especially as a way to break into working with 2-hole bead shapes. These are a great one to start with. There's so many things you can do with them and lots of patterns available. Also pretty interchangeable with the twin beads. Well, what can I say? I think they did a fantastic job. They usually do. Their color combination is totally different than past months. I've seen other combinations. When I've gotten red, it'll be mixed with golds or bronzes. This time we have the reds mixed with some silvers and even some of this rosy pink. Not that you have to use all these together, but I really like the palette. I like the fact that we have some neutral silvers mixed in with some of the brighter shades of red and also some with the Picasso finish and luster. So just a really well-rounded month for the subscription, as it usually is. Next month, it'll be a totally different color combination, but you can also expect to get 8 containers of beads. And again, this is the single club. So if you were to sign up for the double club, you would get 8 containers just like this, but they would contain twice the amount of beads. I find that I enjoy getting the single clubs in both this and the Hot and Trendy to give me more variety. And even though they are the single size versions, I still feel like you get a lot to work with. So I think we are off to a fabulous start, and I'm dying to get into this one because I know this is going to be great too. This is Paris Pink. Hot and trendy, so we can expect a wide variety of different things, not just multi-holed shapes. They could be single hole, they could have 3 or 4. This is one of those subscriptions for you all who are into bead weaving and like that element of surprise and are pretty adventurous and daring in terms of what you will receive and what you want to work with. Not right for everybody, but they do have other clubs like Seed Beads, Delicas, for now Swarovski Crystal, and Fire Polish. Of course, these 2 clubs, and they have a rotating club that will rotate you through everything. But let's do our flip over of Paris Pink. Oh, that's gorgeous. Another one that's just right up my alley. We got pinks and purples and some neutrals to go with those. And once again, I'm going to take these out and we will take a closer look at everything that's included in this club this month. All right, so let's just get right into it. The first item, Opaque Light Rose Ceramic Look Arcos Parpucas. This is our first container, these 3-hole beads. I do have some tutorials for these. I'll try to link some tutorials to the blog post that I put up for this video. So if you're stumped as to what to do, I'll try to link some tutorials that I already have to show you some of these things in use. So we have this arc-like shape. I'll take a few of these out. And these palettes just happen to work very well together. There's that pastel pink, and like it says, ceramic look, so you have that extra detail that really make these look ceramic. We have 3 holes running through the bead, 1 through the middle, and 1 through either side of that arch. Next are the Opaque Light Rose Ceramic Look Telos Parpuca beads. We've gotten these from time to time, and this time they are in that same beautiful ceramic look light pink. And these are a very interesting bead. You can see the 2 holes on the face of those, and then if you turn the bead, you can see that there are holes that go through either end right there. Very unique bead, and another interesting shape in the Parpuca line. Next up, we have some white opal Rizzos. Those are beautiful. So they kind of remind me of a clear or crystal with an AB finish, but these are more milky, which you usually see with the beads that have opal in the name. These make some fun beaded fringe, kumihimo, these little rice-shaped beads with a top drilled hole, as you can see. Next, we have the Pink Galaxy beads, 8mm. Oh, these are stunning. These are gorgeous. I've got to take these out to get a better look at what's going on here. They have the appearance that they're kind of like covered in glitter, but they're very smooth. And they're interesting the way they go from that lighter rosy mauve-y pink to that darker shade. And they are just a 1-hole round, but they are definitely beautiful and interesting to look at. Something I do not have. I have not seen any of these Check Glass Galaxy beads. Then we have the Crystal Gray Rainbow Bridge beads. So that would be this container. Really interesting kind of dull down metallic look, different shades of gray. Here's the handful of bridge beads. So these are a 3-hole bead, as you can see, similar to the Arcos, but they are more of a bracket type shape where either side flares out more in a straight line. And you can see we have some of the gray that is in the warmer tone of gray and then some that's in that cooler tone. But overall, a good neutral mix of colors that complements that pink nicely. Next are the white opaque Lila Luster Navettes, and that would be this container. And I don't think I've gotten these before. I believe these are new, but they are also in that beautiful light pink shade. Very cool. I've seen these online. They're a 3-hole bead, round in the center and more narrow on either end. 3 holes running parallel through. And so it looks to me right off the bat that these could be used with either the Arcos or the bridge bead, something like that, those type of 3-hole beads if you wanted to. So that'll be a fun shape to play around with and a great thing to get in the Hot and Trendy Club, seeing another type of 3-hole bead. Item number 7, this container has the chalk white luster prong beads inside. Love that chalk white luster. I know it's just white, but it's pearlized, so it makes them look extra special. You can see that prong shape. It comes to a point there on the end. It's got the hole on the wider end on the face of it, and they remind me of my little Pomeranian's claws. That's what I always think of when I see these types of beads. And I have these in a couple of different tutorials too. And then finally, number 8, we have some pastel dark gray pinch beads. Here is that color. So another neutral to go with our pink palette, this deep cool shade of gray in the pinch bead, which is a very versatile 1-hole bead shape. There's a closer look. You can see the hole going through the center, and they have 3 sides that are kind of rounded and also pinched in that way, which is obviously why they got their name. So that is a great last item to add to some of those more exotic shapes, I think. Another wonderful palette that they put together. I can definitely see why they called it Paris Pink. A beautiful mix of pinks and neutrals like the white opal and the chalk white, and also the darker shades of gray. All of these things could work very well together. But as usual, I think they did a fantastic job. It's another inspiring arrangement of 8 containers of beads in shapes and colors that are a total surprise, which I am constantly inspired by. Everything is very high quality. I love reusing these containers. These are very dependable subscriptions if you know what you like to work with and you still like the element of surprise. So I hope you enjoyed checking out these 2 clubs that I received for the month of February. I can't wait to use some of these items and share them in future projects. Don't forget you can use the coupon code OPAL10 to save 10% off your first month of your first club if you want to check them out, and check out their website, which I'll leave down below, which has all the details about all their different subscriptions. Also worth mentioning is their customer service is fantastic, so if you ever have any issues or concerns or questions, feel free to reach out to them and they will get right back to you. That is not just me saying it, but lots and lots of viewers and comments over time have expressed that same sentiment. Feel free to leave me a comment down below. Let me know if you received the Beads of the Month Club this month, or what you think of these palettes, or anything else you'd like to say. I'd love to hear from you. And if this video was helpful and enjoyable, please feel free to give it a big thumbs up. I'd greatly appreciate that. And please hit that subscribe button while you're there so you'll be notified of when I am posting new content. I'm so glad you were joining me today to check out these clubs. I will see you again real soon. Until next time, I hope you have a fantastic rest of your day. And as always, happy beading.